Welcome to Sponsored by Nobody. This week, sponsored by People. They still exist. It is November 2021, and you're listening to Leaves in the Jungle, Season 2, Episode 5. In this game, we will be using the Wildsea world setting and system. I am Ian the Firefly, and we have...
Austin playing Tzitzi-Yaku, the Chelicray.
Bev playing Rook the Ardent.
And I'm Jonathan playing Belt.
And Dylan will be coming in hopefully later in this episode. Unfortunately, work exists and thus crushing his soul. We also today have a super extra special guest star in the name of...
I'm Kyle.
And your character name, please.
It's Reginald.
Excellent.
Love it.
Excellent. Yes, Kyle will be joining us. He'll be playing Reginald. Again, we're doing a lot of cameos this season. I hope you like it, because if not, it's too late. This season is recorded well before it's put out. Sorry, not sorry. So...
We are stars that burnt out a long time ago as you wish upon them.
Exactly. We're going to do our little fun warm-up thing quick here. Kyle, for you, this is just like, I'm going to say a little thing, and everyone's going to just throw ideas. It's just for fun, just to get you in the mood of, like, creative thinking.
Sounds good.
Awesome. So, what has the coconut become in the Wildsea?
I'm just picturing a giant toothy chain chomp looking thing.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine like diving bells that like they're super hard now, but like people can use them with like natural diving bells.
Okay.
Did I hear you say coconut?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's obviously just a nut that you use to get chocolate. It's always been that. It's never been anything else. A coconut has never been large enough to fall and hit somebody on the head and like seriously injure them. Why would you think that?
Such silly thoughts. Any thoughts, Kyle? Or
I thought immediately of the most coveted lawn decorations around.
Ooh.
Everybody wants to have them.
Some people even manage to sell like plastic ones on a stick, and then it's like, ooh, fancy.
Excellent. That's our little warm-up. And now we are going to start episode 5. You guys are all on your ship, and you're just coming up from dinner, let's call it, and there's a beautiful sunset. It's a lovely day. It's, it's warm, but it's not overly warm. And on your deck, you can see there's 2 frog people, and they have palm fronds. You know, the like big fan things? There's 2 frog people waving palm fronds, and sitting on a lawn chair being palm frond is the sexiest, most beautiful, absolutely stunning banana you have ever seen, holding a like large martini glass with a straw.
This is dreadful. Just dreadful. This is just the worst day of my life.
Just because right now I'm picturing like, those Halloween costumes where a person is a banana, it's just their face is in the middle with the arms. Is that anywhere close to what is going on here?
No, I just posted what it is.
Okay. Looking at that.
Oh, excellent.
Nice.
It's Kyle for you. It's a guy just with a banana bottom half. It's
Nick Cage coming out of a sleeping bag of banana peel.
Yeah.
If you're having trouble picturing it, it's just perfection embodied in a fruit.
Yeah.
No, excellent. Yeah, no. So this banana is just sitting here, and go ahead, banana. You can do your spiel.
Oh, this is just, as I said, this is dreadful. The worst day of my life. I can't believe all these things that have been happening to me lately. Oh, first, I lost some luggage on the way here, and I can't find it anywhere. My fraud person can't find it at all. Then, this all started when my artwork, which I worked very hard on, I must tell you, I worked very hard on this artwork. It was put in the museum before it was finished. Can you believe it? My artwork. I am one of the most infamous artists in all the known world. And I have come here to your ship seeking assistance. I plan to have a heist of sorts. And I need your help finishing my paintings.
So we need to steal something so you can paint it?
No, not steal. These are my paintings.
So, I'm sorry. Usually when I do a heist, I'm stealing the painting.
Well, you see,
Usually.
they put them all in there, but none of them have my signature on them. We need to add my signatures to these paintings.
Well, that checks out.
I'm sorry, since when did we have a reputation of being a heist crew? Also a reputation just of people knowing who we are.
I mean, I wasn't going to look a gift horse in the mouth here, but...
I feel like we need to have more questions, just in general.
All right. Circle's open.
How did you hear about us?
Oh, I just flagged down the first ship I could find. I need help instantly.
That actually makes me feel more secure about what's going on.
You can trust me. Completely.
Can I roll a perception on
You know what? Before you roll, actually, we're going to, because Reginald here is going to use some abilities.
Yes.
no.
I would like to use my gorgeous face and combine with first impressions.
So, yeah, gorgeous face. You are intoxicating to any species. Treat conflicts as a success when trying to distract. And first impressions increase impact when communicating with an individual for the first time. And by combining these two, Reginald here is just going to dazzle you guys. And we're actually going to cut because Dylan's going to join us as we move on to part 2 of what's about to happen. And we're back. Okay. Yes, so this banana called Reginald, has successfully seduced all of you. Listeners, Dylan is now here. Jisan, our lovely chef. And you are all seduced and just dazzled by his glorious banana-ness. And the next thing you know, instead of standing on your ship, you're all standing inside of what looks to be an art museum in the middle of the night, holding cans of yellow paint and yellow paintbrushes.
Oh,
Does he appear to be sharp in any way?
What do you mean sharp?
Like jagged, like a saw?
No, he's not a saw nana. He's a regular banana. I mean, as far as a sentient humanoid regular banana gets.
haven't you noticed his glistening pores?
Obviously.
Oh, those are not things. Those don't go together.
It's the first thing we noticed.
Okay, but seriously, like, didn't even get the chance to perception-y sense motive stuff?
No,
Okay.
you got dazzled by his gorgeous good looks. I mean, you can try and do it now. You're more than welcome to do it now. But
Okay, can I do it now that I find myself weirdly holding yellow paint?
yes, please do.
Okay, is this more of a... This would be a sense, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sense what the heck just happened to you. That's fair. I'll give you
Yeah,
that.
like, how did we get here? And I'm gonna say... can I get tides on this one?
Yeah, I'll give you tides. Learning, you're trying to learn, you're thinking back, yeah?
Also, have I heard anything even... Because he said he's a famous artist, so, like, would I have even heard of this guy? You know,
Roll away.
Do I get any kind of bonuses?
No.
Okay.
No. You're still pretty dazed from his dazzling good looks.
Dazed and confused. That is a 5 with a twist.
Ooh, 5 with the twist. Okay. You have heard there are famous fruit artists out there. You haven't heard the exact name Reginald, though, but you know that there are famous fruit artists out there.
And where I'm suspicious, but I don't know enough to know if I'm looking stupid or not, so I'm going to say nothing.
I don't trust like that.
Does anyone want to do the twist?
A piece of old banana skin drops off.
Off of what?
What?
Off of him as he realizes you're scrutinizing him as he twists over to look at you in the eyes.
No. Sorry.
I'm sorry, here's your
Saving that for
feels there.
later.
Yeah. He's not falling apart here. He's not some kind of like weird, like if you stare at our guest too long, they disappear.
Yeah, he moisturizes.
Yeah. He's clearly got a good skincare routine here. I'm gonna say if it's okay, I'm gonna say if you had have brought what's their name? Why am I blanking on their name? Gomez in their room has a picture has a fruit painting and knows quite a bit about fruit artists, but unfortunately Gomez isn't here.
Yeah.
Dang. Do any of us know that he would know a lot about fruit artists?
No, but when you get back to the ship, you'll realize this fact.
Oh man, I will bring Gomez back in like an episode or two, and you can ask him about it. He's gonna be really offended because he's gonna be like, "Do you think that all fruiting plants know each other?" Also, yes, I do know him. Why did you not get me an autograph?
We did. They're everywhere. No, we don't know that. It's the future.
It's gonna be so good.
Okay.
Nice. Yeah, you guys all of you are in a museum of sorts. There's paintings all over the walls, and you're all holding buckets of yellow paint with a paintbrush, and some of the paintings look like they have a yellow, like almost crescent moon, maybe even banana kind of shape painted onto them. And you can see Reginald, what are you doing? Are you running around painting crescent moon bananas onto all these paintings, or what are you doing?
Oh, I am... Reginald is signing all of these paintings with his signature.
Of course.
And so I look up and I see everyone just kind of, slacking off a bit, staring at me. And, hey, I need everyone to get to this in the double. We need to get all of my paintings signed before we get caught.
Wait, you want us to sign them for you?
But what have you been doing the last 4 hours?
Doesn't that remove the purpose?
1, very good question. 2, perjury. Which one do we want to go through first?
These are my paintings. They put them here on display before I had the chance to finish them.
Why?
I don't know. I'm not a museum.
I just kind of shrug in this way. This is honestly, at this point in my life, I just expect something like this. But I also kind of like make eye contact with, like, at this point, Jisan, to just be like, were we drugged? Do you know instinctively if we were drugged or not?
I have no eyes, as usual.
Right?
You have to tell us if we were drugged.
Oh Oh my lord.
I'd like to take out my museum brochure and share it with the group.
Excellent. Yeah, you can see, using your museum brochure, you see the exact path that the guard is going to take and where all the cameras are, so you can avoid them for the next little while.
Why is that on the brochure?
I wish also to purchase one of these Marauder brochures.
I was going to say it's the Marauders brochure.
Well, no. See, the brochure is a chart, and he used a special ability to be like, hey, I'm going to take this chart and turn it into a schematic for the instructions. Don't ask questions. Charts are useful. I don't want to have to explain why my chart does things.
Can I ask non-chart related questions? But also maybe I'm kind of painting at this point because we might as well. We've already defaced a bunch in for a penny. But like, just out of curiosity, did you try asking the people who run the museum to sign these in the light of day?
It's a very complicated process, this art. You have to do it from the heart, not the head.
Oh, I get it. It's not a conversation piece, but like the art is the act of doing it.
Exactly. This is a man of art.
I once knew a guy who painted a little dot on a wall, and the art piece was just the artist staring at the dot. He stared at it until he passed out from thirst. It was very hot that day. Dried right up. Everyone thought that was just, everyone thought that was also part of the art piece. It was really sad. We lost a great man that day.
I resign myself to the madness and mumble something about the guess we're doing a Bananksy. Okay.
That's the spirit.
At this point, I might as well. Yeah,
you guys are going to have pretty much no trouble going through the majority of the museum, thanks to the chart you have, the brochure, and you're not going to get a lot of resistance. The art, it's kind of interesting because, the first little bit of art you guys were, signing was paintings of fruit and plants and different things. And then as you kind of went to different rooms and such, it almost looks like the artist's style has shifted, and there's like people and places and like different kind of, instead of being like oil on canvas, it's graphite on paper, or it's watercolor, and it just seems like every room the art style just shifts a little bit, which is kind of that's interesting. He must be a really good artist or something.
These are all yours?
Oh yes, I've been an artist for a very long time. As you can see, that room back there we just went through, that was part of my green period.
Are we just tagging a bunch of other people's stuff? Like, you could tell me, it's okay.
It just kind of turned everybody in and be like, that is definitely what we're doing.
Without a doubt.
If I'm committing vandalism, I at least want to know it so I can enjoy it. Don't hold out on me. If I'm committing vandalism, you have to tell me.
Vandalism is such a dirty word. No, these are my paintings.
Yeah, vandalism is a dirty, fun word.
Were they always
it does not apply
your
to the situation. Yes, these have always been my paintings, from the first drop of paint until my final signature here. Oh, this is all very tiring. I take out my chocolate sauce. And
you just pouring it on your
I just start pouring it over my head and rubbing it around. I need to hydrate. This is too wearisome. Just lathering. I need to lather this. I need to feel better.
I feel like Scraps just starts licking it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Big monkey.
What are you doing?
to death.
I mean,
I need to
you
start the
covered
routine
yourself
all
in-
over.
Dog is like, yay, and just keeps licking as you keep routining.
No, stop, please.
This is how he expresses himself artistically.
Hey, did you ever tell us what you were paying us to do this? Keep in
No.
mind, that dog is very hungry.
The dog just kind of licks his lips around and looks at you with an unblinking stare.
I just admitted to enjoying vandalism. You don't know what else I'm into.
I start to panic a bit, and I pour out instinctively more chocolate sauce onto myself.
By the way, have your frog dudes just been following us the whole time?
Yeah, they're still pawn-franning him.
Do
Nice.
they appear sentient?
Oh yes, these are the same frog people that you guys met at Attractus Cactus.
Okay.
Like
I just
not
kind of-
not the same exact ones, but like the same
Same
species. Yeah.
I turn to them and I'm like, do you have any opinions on any of this?
They just kind of look at you, and one of them says, "Opinions on what? You're helping Reginald, the master artist. You should be honored."
How long have you known Reginald the Master Artist?
Oh, years. We've been so lucky to be his, pawn frawners. It's such a highly regarded job.
And you witnessed him do all the art.
They kind of look at each other. Of course, he's an artist. He does art.
I mean, that
Can
kind of
I
checks out.
sense if they're in... Can I sense motive them?
Sure.
Okay. Do I get a... Yeah, I get an edge on that. Do I get
Yep.
any other kind of advantage?
Nope.
Oh, that is a 6.
Okay. They genuinely believe he's an artist.
Do they genuinely believe they saw him make all the art?
They genuinely believe they've seen him make art. Yes.
Interesting. Okay.
As Reginald is covering himself with chocolate sauce, and as you're giving him the, full interrogation here, all of a sudden you just hear from behind Reginald, like coming out of one of the other rooms, you hear, "Ha ha ha! Well, if it isn't the fake artist, Reginald splits the ninth. Ha 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 ha! Ridiculous! How dare you come to my art exhibit?" And there is a somewhat rotting apple core, like holding a martini glass with a straw still, and two ardents pawn frawning it. And it's also holding a bucket of green paint, and you can see the room behind it has green dots on all the paintings, similar to how you've been putting yellow, crescent moons on all the paintings.
Wow, that's a nice looking core. I could barrel my whole self through that. And Belt starts licking his slug lips.
The apple core just kind of turns to you and, interesting. I see you have a group of little followers now. I have followers too. And coming out of the room, you see Portobello's crew holding paint cans.
Gosh. Just kind of turn to them. Hi, guys. Do you have any idea where everybody's getting all these martinis from? Because I could really use one right now.
Seconded.
Portobello just looks at you. He pulls out a martini. He's like, "Didn't you get one during orientation?" And takes a sip.
To be honest, we're not sure if we were drugged or not because we're just kind of here now. But, yeah.
Don't mind this apple core, everyone. This is none other than Turgill Smith the 12th. He is one of the most rotten, stinky apple cores there ever was.
Speak for yourself.
Huh, how dare you, rotten? I am the most perfect apple there ever was. At a core? I'm a whole apple. What are you talking about? You're delusional, you rotten banana.
What? You're definitely.
I am not rotten. Do you see any specks of brown across this immaculate body? I am glistening yellow, still at my prime, full of antioxidants and protein.
He just kind of looks at you. You're covered in chocolate. He's like, rotten. Absolutely rotten.
Well, I mean, I
start tugging at my banana peel a little bit, and pulling it down a bit.
I mean, obviously, a taste test is in order.
Turgel just kind of looks at you. What are you insinuating, good sir?
Oh, you know exactly what I'm insinuating.
Why, I never.
Oh, I bet you have.
I just kind of whispered to like the others, is he threatening him or coming on to him? I genuinely don't know anymore.
Yes. The answer is yes.
Ah!
So how about it? I mean, I have no idea what we're doing here, but so might as well make it a party.
Portobello and his crew are like, yeah, this is too much for even us. And they kind of put their paint cans and walk away. Turgel just kind of turns. You'll rue the day you joined the art world. So,
Oh, I already do. Oh my god. I can't handle it, man. I'm losing my mind.
Hey, to be fair, you said he was the sexiest banana, and that set the tone for the rest of this game. You brought this on yourself.
You thought we were going to do a heist, but really it's more of one of those dater sim things.
You drugged me and brought me here. It's
We
time
might
for
as
part
well.
well, Reginald, they want us to do an art-off, I guess.
I just kind of
Well,
look at him like,
where's your crew?
I don't need a crew. I'm not some weak artist who needs others to do my work for me.
Oh, I can tell just by looking at you, you're not an amateur. Go on, do some art. I want to see it.
Yeah.
Well, Turgel, shall we set terms?
Excellent. I assume we'll bet the usual? The entirety of this museum?
Absolutely.
Excellent. Excellent. May the winner take the whole museum as their art.
What?
This is how art works, young lady. Maybe one day when you're captured.
Belt like puts a hand up. He's like, no, I want to see how this plays out.
I turn around
I just
to
kind
the...
of grab... go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I just grab the nearest unclaimed martini, just sit down cross-legged, and I'm like, sure. Just start drinking.
I turn around to my crew, and with a very sudden change of expression, I say, guys, we're absolutely screwed. Have you any idea what Turgel Smith the 12th has done? We need to work together to beat him in this art-off, or all of my hard work is going to go to waste. He's going to claim all of my paintings for himself.
I don't think he can just do that. How would that even work?
This is how the underground art scene works.
Wait, do you think art is just signing your name on something someone made and then it's your work now?
No, I told you, I made all of this. And he wants to take it from me. Take the credit.
But wouldn't the museum know who it came from?
They do, but as I said, it's a very complicated process. There's a lot of moving pieces involved, a lot of red tape. I don't know any of these people.
What do you need me to do, my lord?
Belt is like in the background now, like rubbing his little slug hands together, like, yes. I need to know how this goes. Daddy's gonna get a whisper out of this one.
Well, okay, you're giving me hope here. Okay. I try to pull myself together. I peel myself a bit more as I'm talking. With all the stress, it's making me want to peel and peel and peel. Oh, okay. We need to come up with something so unique that it just puts him to shame, and he never wants to make art again. Do you have any ideas?
We're used to that. We can do that.
Yeah, murder. That's my first idea. He's already 1 foot in the grave. It'd be easy to make it look like an accident.
But he wears it so well.
We just turn to Jisan and like we could call Nanoshi, tell him to show up and be like, I'm an art.
Okay, murder is one thing.
Art.
Murder is one thing, but how do we make murder art?
Well,
I'm desperately trying to make like draw me like one of your French girls jokes, but I don't know who to do it with. Bill could say it about himself. He could say it about our only, I guess, female on board.
I'm a girl.
Well, just because there's fungi have a lot of genders, and a lot of them could be female. I don't know. I don't want to be humanist here.
That's fair.
Also, Telegram are a hive mind. Did you say also you're a French guy?
Are there French fungi?
Oh, French fungi. Ah.
I was thinking, like, you could
That's
draw...
when you mean truffle.
You could draw Rook like one of those Tangle girls.
Makes me know what now? I just kind of turn to them, still holding the martini. Leave me out of this.
Okay, I think what we need is a group project. Not just me. We need to all have a piece of art that we can put our signatures on. That way, it's not just my art in this museum, but you also have a place in history.
Perfect. He picks up the piece of art that he was going to sign just before all this starts. He says, here's mine.
Genius. Why didn't I think of that before? Okay, we need to gather up as much art as possible.
I am sitting on the ground next to Scraps, who's licking up what I'm assuming is chocolate that is now drizzled on the floor, sipping a martini and finger painting in it.
Okay, so the way that this is going to go down, since we have like where guards are and where cameras and stuff are, he's definitely stealing paintings. Like, that's happening. Like, he takes out a knife and he cuts around the border of the painting, rolls it up, and he puts it into something. Like, we came here to a museum. He, like, one way or another, he's going to get these paintings out of here.
Fair. That's fair.
You just start stealing art for the fun of it, nothing to do with the mission.
Pirates.
Some of these could be charts.
Okay, so Belt is stealing art for his art piece, or their art piece, I should say.
No, he's just stealing art because when we leave here, he's leaving with something.
I mean,
This is payment.
This is just regular,
that's true too.
regular theft,
Yeah.
not fancy theft.
He's just stealing.
That's fair. And
He's
then,
going to insist that somebody else famous did all of this. It doesn't matter who.
and then Rook is doing a finger painting on the ground in chocolate sauce.
But mostly
we do.
yes.
Excellent. I assume Reginald, you're coordinating these artistic art efforts.
Yes, I'm starting to grab every canvas I can off the wall and put them in one big stack.
Excellent.
Like pancakes.
Just as a note, I'm not stealing the ones that he takes.
Fair enough. Tzitzi, what are you contributing to this artistic world?
Oh, wow. I have multitudes of flags, inspiration from my birth of horror. Oh man, what to pick from? Let's see, can I feed a whisper into this?
Yes, please do.
I'm gonna create some like H.R. Geiger-esque horizon level art with unending abyss.
Ooh.
Hey, does this count as collecting a history of those who came before?
Yes.
For drives?
Yes.
Yeah.
10 out of 10. Yes, it does.
All right. So can I unmark a mire for that?
Yep.
Perfect.
I'm gonna like channel all like the hate and the fear that's been like put towards me my whole life, and like all the negative emotions I'm getting off like the fruit pals over here, the fruit medley. And yeah, and imagining it on like one of those like graphite papers.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah. And then Jisan.
I think I'm gonna take the lion's mane pollen, and I'm going to mark my last naturally hallucinogenic, and I'm going to dust the entire pile of paintings. For the first bit, I'm grabbing some paintings off the wall and whipping them in the pile too, but at the end, I'm going to dust it with sparkly pollen and also the magic ingredient that will make any artistic experience more meaningful.
Drugs?
Yes, that's correct.
Excellent.
Drugging the pile.
As you do.
Excellent. Yeah, as you guys create these like beautiful artistic masterpieces, Turgil will be watching you guys and just looking. Interesting. Such unique art. Very, very nice. Very nice. But watch this. And using ferrokinesis, he's going to start pulling like all the frames that had no art in them anymore. So all the ones that Belt had gone around and cut the art out of, they're going to start taking the frames and they're going to start twisting them and shaping them. And they're going to use the whisper dust to dust to make an art piece out of the beautiful end of these other art pieces. And yeah, it's just this giant sculpture. And when they finish, it's going to be in the shape of Belt.
Oh, well, obviously he wins.
Yeah.
Obviously he wins. Obviously, he says as he's like actively carving out another painting. Like he's not stopping. He's like looks over his shoulder. He's like, "That's very beautiful," and then goes back to stealing.
So my train of thought here is that this man has the power to murder us all instantly with his superpowers. This apple is not to be trifled with. He's a super wizard. And I want none of that. I'm changing sides. I don't care how beautiful this banana is. This man has the power to end my life with a thought. I need to get the hell out of here. I'm like, oh, I'm waking up. This dream needs to end. Oh my God, we're in the palm of gods.
I see him walking over and start to panic a bit. No, don't go over there. We still need to work on our art. It's not fair.
Use a whisper.
I use slimy eyes, and I whisper it onto the statue of Belt.
Yeah, the eyes just start like weeping like ooze and slime. And
Did they not, though?
Keep in mind, Belt is literally a slug guy, so he's like, oh, that's even better. But like that's just his opinion. He could be outvoted. It's okay.
Turtle, you've ruined my art piece. What have you done to it? It's not. You've made it yours now, but it was mine. My art. And you can see him going for his green paint because he's going to paint it to make it his again.
I shoot
yellow.
the paint can.
Oh.
Nope.
Yeah, go for it.
As he reaches for it, like twang,
Go for it.
using my hunting skill with grace.
Yeah, sure.
And the bow for 4d6. This is not going to be an element of any kind. I'm not trying to blow his hand off. Not trying to make fruit salad over here.
Yummy, yummy.
4, 2, 2, 1.
My time, and I want
So 4 with a twist. So you'll hit the paint can. And it starts leaking. He does manage to get some paint back on the sculpture. And Turgid will be like, ha! There. It's mine again. It's my art. But he'll look down and the like splatter from your arrow of like hitting the paint can. He'll be like, it's beautiful. That's a masterpiece. Excellent. Well done. I do say, I guess, Reginald, you win this round.
I look up a bit confused, still in my state of a little bit of a toddler meltdown from someone else leaving my side. Oh, well, if you say so, old chap.
Very well, yes. This art, and he kind of like just gestures to the museum. He's like, is now your art. You did all of this. Well done. And as he's like about to turn around and walk away, a security guard walks in.
Yeah.
Now
Yep.
Belt says, well, that's my time to go. And squeezes under a door with all of his paintings, just kind of folded in. Just
Excellent. Yeah, the security guard just kind of looks at you all. What the heck
at
is
him.
going on here?
I just turned to him with the martini, like half drunk, be like, right?
I'd like to use my fancy pants aspect.
Yep.
And I stare the security guard straight in the eyes, and I say, what is happening here, sir, is art.
Is this an underground art battle?
Absolutely. You are witnessing history being made. Remember it well.
He just like drops to his knees. He's like, I never thought this moment would happen to me.
Belt
He's
isn't
like
here for this,
weeping.
but wherever he is still stealing. it's not stopping until he gets out of here.
Okay, full disclosure, everyone. I made a plan to get in here, but I have no idea how to get out.
We're great at getting out of sticky situations.
We actually do know how to do that. Okay.
I'm going to use the whisper riding high.
Mm-hmm.
The ship arrives, like, heroically, like, and, like, drops lines down. And, do we have only 2 of the boys with us now? Or are all 3 of the boys with us on the ship?
All 3 of the children are on the ship, right?
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Like, all 3 ninjas can be up there being like, come on, let's go. Unless you all don't want that. Unless you all want to have, like, a struggle to get out.
No, that's awesome.
Oh, that sounds perfect.
Okay,
Sounds
cool.
good to me.
Riding high.
Yeah, you guys Like the ship somehow, we'll say this like museum was slightly under the eaves, so the ship like goes over top and drops lines. The three children are there. Docus is there. They're like, come on, hurry up. And yeah, you guys like grab the ropes and start climbing up as this security guard's just weeping. He's like, I've witnessed history. And Turgil, the apple core, is like pulls out one of those like really long French cigarettes, and he just lights it and he goes, this museum now belongs to Reginald. And he like slaps the guard with it and he goes, don't ever forget that, and like walks away.
I could have slapped him with a cigarette. It's like,
As you do.
he didn't even light it. He just took a cigarette out and slapped me with it.
Assert
Drops on the
dominance.
floor, and that cigarette is also going to be in the museum, and then the next night it will also have a banana book crescent on it.
So are we all on the ship now?
Yeah, you guys are all back on the ship with Reginald.
Question.
And-
See, the piece you were working on, the culmination of your pain. What happened to that?
It escaped
In the museum.
Yes,
You can
it's
take it with
framed up
you,
high.
I
probably.
mean, yeah, you can if you want.
You brought it with you?
Yes.
Sorry. Okay.
I would like
It
it managed to squeeze in between some of the additional paintings that Mr. Slug took as he slid under the door first.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, you could be like, hey, take this.
Okay, so I'm going to say
Excellent.
that at some point, like, and it doesn't necessarily have to be sequentially in what happens, but at some point in this, as where he's like, like almost like showing off the trading cards of like, yeah, look at all the stuff I stole. And we get to Cece's, and I think like throughout this whole thing, I've been like kind of cynical and frustrated about all this. But when I see Tzitzi's art, it might just be the martinis talking, but I have just a full, quiet, still moment of seeing the expression of your angst and everything that, because I have had trouble being comfortable around you because your existence is somewhat horrifying.
Can't
It's a
believe you
million
just say that.
spiders.
Right? But like looking at this, I am connected with you and feel your experiences as being the subject of this scorn from so many people, and it moves me to my very core. And I just kind of have like I'm tearing a little bit looking at this piece. Just like I've been terrible to you, and you are beautiful, and I'm sorry, and this is beautiful.
I spread my what I call arms wide. Bring it in.
I just kind of have like a okay, and I hug you, and it's still like, oh, everything in my spine hates this, but the love is real.
Wait, would you say that's showing others they've been wrong to fear my kind?
Yes.
Neat. I'm going to remove a mire.
Well done.
I have 2 buyers, and I don't know. None of this works for mine.
This loving moment shared between 2 crewmates.
Your ancestors, Rook, are just like, wow. That's kind of sad you're crying over paper. Ridiculous.
I don't have any more buyers to take in that category, Ian.
They're lifting like, dumbbells and doing CrossFit. I don't know. Whatever Jack's people
Doing
do.
CrossFit.
They're blending protein shakes, obviously.
Exactly.
Yeah. But anyway, yes, continue on with the adventures.
Yeah, you guys are all on the ship. Reginald is there with you. And you have apparently a stolen stash of art on the ship too.
Nice.
I
Yeah.
like to call it liberated. Adopted, even.
Fair enough. You can't just adopt everything.
Says the person who keeps letting us adopt things.
Obviously, you can. He says, and like thumbs at the boys.
Almost had a glass of living water. But no,
We had to give
his friends.
You
Right?
see all this shit? Stolen. All of it. Stolen. We didn't pay for a damn thing. Money doesn't even exist.
We didn't barter or trade nothing. See these bees? There are bees, but also they're my friends.
If anything happens to them, I would kill you and all of them.
Yeah. Wait, what?
Wait, what? Oh, hold on. Mental math. Quick maths here.
I'm grieving.
For what?
Don't worry about it.
Like, okay, I got it. So yeah, I guess we just kind of like turned to Banana and we're like, so did we? What just happened here exactly?
Well, as you remember, we made sure my art is as it belongs in the museum, not claimed by anyone else. And I see you managed to take some of it with you. That's fantastic.
Yeah, I did this.
I have to admit, though, I'm a bad banana. I'm a sham. I'm a fraud. All these years, I feel like watching you all help me back there. I think I've lost touch with what art really is.
Hey, I have an idea of what you could go for.
Oh, no.
And Belt goes on a tirade about how we're gonna like start a forever war with these people, and like we already have an Ectus has already like declared themselves as like this is their forever war, and they put on their war jacket that makes them immune to fire. It's a nightmare, and like these people are like farming ardents to like get their skins to wear for like as like a Chelicray underground like husk thing, and it's awful. And he's like, so yeah, if you could just like spread the word on that we're looking for volunteers.
And honestly, like, if you want to change the hearts and minds of the masses, the arts are the way to do it. So, like, propaganda the crap out of that. If you want.
Also, we're going after these specific people. I don't know if you could avoid making it a race war.
Oh, yeah. Definitely do not make it a race war.
What kind of races are involved?
Oh, son of a bitch.
Fast ones.
Oh. Just out of curiosity, is there any art that, is near completion but just missing a signature?
I kind of
Like propaganda art, so I can help the cause.
slide in front of my piece.
Can I roll study to know, like, is this guy, like, someone I have known about? And if I had art that was, like, signed by them, would that matter?
Yeah, go ahead and roll study.
All right.
And I'm going to give you advantage because we've already established that Gomez had some of their art.
Okay.
Yeah, so, yeah. I'll give you advantage because now that you're back on the ship. Advantage gives you an extra dice.
Oh, advantage, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I always mix up aspect and advantage. That's 3d6. 1, 3, 4. Okay,
1, 2,
so
4. Okay.
conflict.
They are actually, like, again, you find on the ship this piece of art, and it has, like, the yellow crescent on it. And so, like, somewhere in... You've met Gomez, I'm sure, in passing. Mm-hmm. And maybe, like, they've mentioned that they like art or something. And somewhere, like, you're like, yeah, this banana is an artist. Like, they are known in the art world. You're not sure if they actually paint the art, but you do know for a fact they're known in the art world as an artist and like respected.
Respected, that's the key word.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, ooh, they could be known, but...
No, like they are like a respected artist, like as far as the art world is concerned, but like also thinking there's clearly something weird with the art world.
Mm-hmm.
I was about to say, what is the art world nowadays? Like, what the frick is...
Gomez knows more. When Gomez comes back, he'll tell you all about the art world.
I already have an idea for it.
Excellent. I'm sorry I'm throwing this at you, but like, yeah.
I'm already there.
Excellent.
What's really blowing my mind is the fact that there was just a normal security guard and we all just took it in stride. But like my mind has been screaming about that security guard existing since it happened. And I'm becoming more and more disturbed. Like I experienced something and I just dealt with it like it was normal. But I've never been in that situation before. Like I think some large portion of my brain just turned off, where my fungal intelligence was not able to comprehend what was happening around me. I entered an alien dimension, and I do not want to go back.
The art world will do that to you.
Chews you up and spits you out.
This guy's curves will do that to you, apparently.
It's a little bit like an Eldritch Horror, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's I think that's our episode.
Nice.
And scene.
I guess. Yeah, no, that was
We did art.
we
Did art?
we did art.
We did art.
Did we do crafts?
Maybe. I was Ian the Firefly.
I was Tzitzi-Yaku, the black artist, the graphite artist.
There you go. That's better.
I'm Rook, the moved by graphite artist.
Jonathan, definitely not an artist, but all of these things are genuine. You can trust me.
And I was Dylan playing Jisan, the creator of Trapped Paintings.
And our super extra special guest star was
And I'm Kyle, and I was Reginald Splits the Ninth.
excellent. And we are sponsored by nobody. Signing off.